Yes, 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 yes. Welcome back to 108 Dragons TV, baby. It's your host, Lemon23, aka Lemetius, aka Right Hand of Zeus. And yes, as of promised in the latest episodes that I've been talking about, all this ranting and raving about Xbox Scorpio, we don't know what it do, but I came out and said some specs, I came out and said some possibilities. I also came out and told y'all it did certain things, like the 12 gigs of RAM, like that 4K DVR, like that 1080p TVs take full advantage of the Scorpio. I told you that. You heard it here first. And now, Digital Foundry, my boy, Richard Leadbetter, the director of Digital Foundry. And let me tell you why this is important, and this is a statement-making event. First of all, when it comes down to consoles, frame rates, issues, resolution, fixes, Digital Foundry are the architects of explaining what a system can and can't do, whether the developer is telling the truth or they're telling goddamn lies to us to get us to buy something. And I respect Richard Leadbetter. He is the #1 guy over there, Digital Foundry. And they are kind of Microsoft biased. So I was really wanted to hear him dissect the system and tell us, did Phil Spencer bullshit us? Or did he tell us the truth? I'm going to get into that. Now, for everybody that logged in this morning, whether you liked or disliked the comments being made, you participated, baby, and it's greatly appreciated. Everybody that came out this morning. And welcome once again, new subscribers, baby. This channel is growing. What you know about that there? Now let's get into this information. I'm going to run down some things. I'm going to be popping pictures all up. But you know what? I'm going to bring it to you from a gaming perspective, because being that Microsoft has promised to do something and has done it, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Phil Spencer, you're not a liar. You didn't do no bullshit. But Digital Foundry would expose your ass. Now let's get into this. First of all, Richard Leadbetter is the top director over there at Digital Foundry. This guy sits down, analyzes plenty of games, plenty of hardware, and they also do PC stuff. These guys may not be Xbox heavy, but they won't lie to you either. They're going to tell you the truth. They even took some shots at the PlayStation 4 Pro, and we'll get into that. And it wasn't really shots. They just were stating the obvious. First of all, they invited this man out there to Redmond, California, to come out there to their studios to get first-hand on with the engineers of the Scorpio, who also designed the Xbox One S. And they also got a chance to sit down and speak to Turn 10 Studios. And we all know they make the best graphical game out to date, the Forza series. If any game is to showcase what the Xbox Scorpio One S or base would they be able to do, it would be the Turn 10 Studios. It's like Naughty Dog and Guerrilla Games on PlayStation. Those are the kick-ass developers for Sony. They kick ass all around. Graphics, presentation, acting, everything. Those dudes kick ass. Turn 10 is a kick-ass studio like Coalition and 343 Industries. They are the kick-ass developers in the industry amongst anyone cutting edge graphics. Now, let's get into the CPU core. It is based off Jaguar, but it's a Microsoft spin on it, and it's souped up. This thing has, oh my Lord, 2.4 gigahertz compared to the 1.75. It's a custom CPU. Everybody was hoping it was some type of Ryzen, but it is based off Jaguar. It's not exactly Jaguar because it does way more. The computing levels is way higher. Now, another thing that's key is the DirectX 12 implement of this chip. Implement of a DirectX 12 chip was just ingenious for Microsoft. That takes a lot of the information that you need to process these games off of the CPU. A lot of games is DirectX 12. You know what I'm saying? Battlefield, Star Wars, Battlefront, the big titles. Those are heavy DirectX 11 and 12. So this will take advantage and take the weight off of the CPU side. So that was definitely something that was incredible and ingenious by Microsoft. And they definitely did a great job. That engineering team, Phil Spencer needs to give them a raise or bring them out at E3 and give them a standing ovation, because this team is the one who built that Xbox One S, and they put in a lot of work. Now, the audio processing block. This is something that's already in the Xbox One. But what's crazy, they already updated the current Xbox One to Dolby Atmos for headphones, Dolby Atmos for your receiver, and the Scorpio is taking advantage of that also. This is also a separate entity and takes the processing off the CPU, so the sound can be dedicated and the CPU don't have to worry about it, which leaves more processing power for the GPU. Let's get into the GPU. The 6 teraflops that they was talking about is definitely incredible. You got 4.2 with the PlayStation. You got 1.3 with the Xbox. This is to show complete dominance for graphics. This system is built to take a strike back at anybody who said the Xbox was inferior, which it was, and they are one of the top companies in the world, and they're showing it by showing their muscle on giving us a complete new system. This is not a refresh of the Xbox One. This Xbox One is a beast. Has some characteristics from the previous Xbox, but it plays all backwards compatibility games. It will play even your 360 games. Now, we didn't get to see a Forza Motorsport 7. They obviously is going to hold that for E3. But being that they did this unveil, we get to see all the games on stage, more so than just talking about what Scorpio is capable of doing. This was a smart idea, and it was really a smart idea getting the tech heads to do it. Now, the GPU has a 43 advantage over the Pro. 43% advantage over the Pro. That was another thing that's crazy. This is another step up for Microsoft. They got DDR3 old school, not really old school, but older RAM. They have 12 gigabytes dedicated to the Scorpio, 8 of which is available to the developers, and 4 is available for the dashboard. The dashboard will run a native 4K 60 day one. The Xbox One S can't do that. It has to upscale. Now, that's a 60% boost from this GDR5 with the memory. Like I said, the developers are getting from 5 gigs. Now they got 8 total gigs dedicated. The memory bandwidth has jumped to a whopping 326 gigabytes across the whole buff. That means there's no bottlenecking. This system will not have no bottlenecks. It won't be held by anything. We will be getting graphic fidelity at its highest form for a console. This is literally, if you're a tech head, you ran out there, you enjoy great visuals, you ran out there, you got the PS4 over the Xbox, because their third parties will be better on that other system, the PS4, because of resolution and performance. You gonna be running back, because this system is destroying any other console that's ever been made. And Microsoft put their money where their mouth is. Not only did they make promises, they have gave us more than what they promised. That's just crazy. Now, we're gonna get into what Richard was talking about. He went to the Forza Studios, and he particularly saw Forza 6 running on a Scorpio. And he said this is the first time in history he's ever seen this. And they Turn 10 Studios said the same thing. They got their developmental kit on what the Scorpio can do, and they had that game fully running with no customization, no optimization. In 2 days, Forza 6 was running. Now the point is, we know it has backwards compatibility, but the point is not running your current game on a system looking the same. It ran at 4K 60 frames. This is a picture of a 1-to-1 pixel ratio that is showing you on Scorpio, and it's only using sometimes 50 to 60 to 70% of what the Scorpio can actually do. Not only is the game running in 4K 60 native, you get the 4K artwork out of the game. So that means all textures are higher res. The Pro does not do that. It takes the game, bumps up the resolution, beautiful, but it still has to run the same textures. They're running with the 5 gigs of RAM. Being that Microsoft moved up to 8 gigs, you're going to get higher res textures, 4K textures. Now, this is another good thing. 900p games will also be able to take advantage of this mode, and they said it's going to take a little bit more work to do the games, but that's not for me and you to decide. That's for the developer to do, and right now the machine is doing it automatically. It's built into the machine. Now, the tech it's using is the Polaris, excuse me. It's the Polaris tech, so it's like more like the Radeon 4X X480, which is a good card. Dedicated 5.8 GPU on PC, but they getting six teraflops out of theirs. Now, and all of this stuff, I've had conversations with my people. People like, oh man, this thing is gonna be on fire. We gotta look out for the red ring of death. Microsoft has a cooling method called vapor chamber. Now, the vapor chamber is used on the highest graphic card out to date, the 1080 and the 1080 Ti. Microsoft is take all the steps that we won't have overheating issues. And they also hinted at this system will be smaller than the Xbox One S. Now, that's some bullshit, because I didn't anticipate that. My PlayStation 4 Pro looks like a stack of pancakes compared to the slim version. So to hear them even say it might be the same size or a little bit smaller than the Xbox One S, that means it's gonna go right into my center for gaming. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, the system is very, very fast. 1080p users from day one. You don't need no patches, you don't need nothing. You pop your game in, you playing it off your hard drive, the games will automatically run at a higher res for textures. A higher res, yo listen, higher res textures, man, than the current Xbox One. So anybody buys a TV, you have a 1080p TV, you take full advantage of the Xbox Scorpio's power. You take full advantage. Now, we're gonna get into all your 360 and Xbox One games will be backwards compatible. You might have some hitches here and there, they might have to release some patches, but at the end of the day, this thing is a beast. This is what Phil Spencer was talking about. This is what they promised. I didn't know if they was gonna pull it off. I was throwing jabs at them. My preferred online system is Xbox. I really want them to have a great system. I enjoy my Pro. I have a 4K TV. My TV's high end, top of the level. But I want everything that I put on my TV to at least come close to high end. At least come close. My Pro is doing it, and the Scorpio is beyond the Pro. About 50 to 60% an increase of power, of graphic fidelity. I'm really impressed what I saw today. Richard said he's gonna bring us back to more stuff that he has to cover. They put up 2 videos. I had it covered. Listen, man. Now, this is the key. From what I see, Microsoft didn't jump out the window and run mad expensive parts. The cooling system is probably one of the most advanced things in there, besides the upgraded GPU, the RAM, all those co-inspired. But right now, those parts, when they first came out, was extremely expensive. They're not now. I could see them dropping the system for $399, no more than $450. But for the performance you're getting, medium end PCs cannot compete with this thing. There's no medium end PC rocking 4K 60 native games, full 4K textures. There's always a limitation. So you're getting a console that can kick a lot of PC's asses. A lot of PC ass is gonna get kicked by a console. That's great. That's great news. I hope y'all like and subscribe and enjoyed the content. This is a serious episode, and I really wanted to bring this information to you, and I'm very excited to see the games now for the system. And for you guys that's naysayers, oh, they made a lot of hype. Microsoft didn't say nothing. The industry reported Digital Foundry is going to put this game out. Put the specs out. And it's good that we know the specs. We know it's a monster. Now, the only thing for you naysayers out there, I saw those comments. Y'all dudes got to relax, man. It's about games. You can cross back over. You ain't got to be dedicated to Sony. They don't pay your light bill. They don't pay mine either. But I buy their games. But we got to get to E3. It's a couple months away. It's really a couple months. We almost halfway through April already, man. So we should be all right. But not halfway, a week and a half into it. But it's about games. If they showcase the games, like Phil keeps saying, they can't wait to E3 to show their games. We can't say too much, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I want y'all to like and subscribe. And for you people that's not tech heads, I tried to break it down as simple as possible. It is for you. At the end of the day, this goddamn system is a beast. And your boy Lemon ain't got no more news for you. And I'm out.